Hi, thanks for joining me today. And I want to say a special welcome to my listeners in Athy in Kildare County, Ireland. So glad to have you here with me. The topic today is identifying and healing karmic debt. It's not enough to just identify it. I'm sure you want to know how to heal that debt, and I'm definitely going to be diving into that. So, you know what they say? What goes around comes around. It's so true. If that phrase ever gave you pause, maybe it's because you've tuned into something more profound, karmic debt. No, it's not the amount you owe in your student loans or credit cards. It's like a spiritual tab you've been running, and perhaps for lifetimes. If you've ever wondered why certain patterns or challenges never seem to leave you alone, it might be karmic debt, and here's everything you need to know about it. What is karmic debt? Have you ever felt like you have a debt you weren't even aware of? It's as if you've unknowingly subscribed to a cosmic newsletter your entire life and now the bill has arrived. Karmic debt refers to the spiritual imbalance accumulated through negative actions or intentions, either from this life or previous ones. Originating from Eastern spiritual philosophies, it represents a record of your soul's actions, but you won't receive monthly statements for this one. Instead, karmic debt appears as recurring patterns, challenges, or even specific people who make you rethink your life choices. While deeply spiritual, the concept also invites you to consider the cause and effect relationships in your own life. Have you ever found yourself repeatedly facing the same difficulties? That could be your karmic debt making its presence felt. The concept suggests that you need to pay off this debt, not with money, but through personal growth and actions. We'll delve deeper into the how to's of repayment later in this episode, but for now, know that the universe has a funny way of keeping tabs. And unlike other debts, this one doesn't accrue interest. Instead, it accrues life lessons. Here's some signs you have karmic debt. So, now you're panicking a bit. You're probably wondering how in the world to know whether or not you have overdue karmic debt. Understanding that the universe has subtle ways of signaling its balance sheet is essential. Here is how you can identify those signals. Number one, recurring patterns. You know those moments when you face the same situation repeatedly? I usually call those cycles. If you find yourself stuck in these frustrating loops or cycles, especially in relationships or your career, you might be dealing with karmic debt. The universe has this quirky way of hitting the replay button or on lessons you haven't mastered yet. Think of it as an educational loop, if you will. Until you master it, you're going to repeat it. Number two, intense relationships. Ever had relationships that make soap operas look boring? You might be tangled in what's known as karmic relationship. These aren't run-of-the-mill connections. They're intense and dramatic, making you wonder if you accidentally auditioned for a reality show. When relationships become a roller coaster of highs and lows, it might be because there's karmic debt that you're meant to resolve together. Next is obstacles and challenges. It may be more than just misfortune if you constantly encounter the same difficulties in areas like your career or personal relationships. Persistent challenges often signify underlying spiritual issues that need addressing. These types of recurring problems may indicate that you need to engage in spiritual reflection or adjustment to resolve karmic imbalances. Next is chronic health issues. If you're suffering from health problems that doctors are having trouble diagnosing, take note. Sometimes chronic issues can be the body's way of signaling something deeper at play. If traditional routes aren't providing answers, consider the possibility that your karmic debt is manifesting physically. This isn't to bypass medical advice, but to explore other dimensions as well. Next is unexplained phobias. Have a fear of heights but never fell off a cliff? or you're terrified of water but never had a traumatic swimming incident. Irrational fears can also be your psyche's way of waving a karmic red flag. Phobias that do not align with your life experiences could be carried over from past lifetimes. Another one is vivid dreams or nightmares. Karmic debt can also manifest as this way, vivid dreams and nightmares. This may be significant if you've noticed that your dreams are like horror movies. Such intense and unsettling dreams are believed to be your subconscious attempting to process unresolved issues related to your karmic debt. These repetitive and thematic dream patterns are like a spiritual simulation where your mind works through conflicts and unresolved emotions that stem from past actions. Next is frequent accidents. Experiencing frequent injuries or having minor accidents can easily be written off as mere clumsiness, but these things could have more profound implications in our lives. Incidents like these can serve as the universe's special way of providing wake up calls, prompting you to examine deeper issues that may be linked to unresolved karmic debt. Next is sudden loss. Have you ever been at a place in life where you are finally about to achieve a long awaited goal and then had the rug pulled right out from under you with no warning? Sudden and unexplained losses, be it a job, relationship, or opportunity, can be unsettling. Sometimes these abrupt changes are the universe's way of saying a karmic imbalance needs your attention. Another one is intuitive hits. You know those incredibly vivid moments in life when your gut instinct is screaming louder than a jet engine. It's not indigestion, my friend. It's raw, intuitive insight. Sometimes these feelings are more than mere coincidence. For me, all the time. They're your intuition alerting you to a potential karmic debt situation. If you get a strong sense that you've met a person before, or you feel like you definitely should not take a particular job, even if it seems perfect for you, it's worth a spiritual ponder. Next is deja vu. Ever walk into a room and think, I think I've been here before, but you can't quite place when that might have been? Deja vu experiences can sometimes feel like glitches in the matrix, you've heard of that, but they can actually be flashes of karmic insight. These moments could remind you of a past life experience related to your karmic debt, giving you another shot at doing things differently this time around. Next is unexplained guilt or shame. Out of nowhere guilt trips are not exclusive to holiday family dinners. Sometimes feelings of guilt or shame that cannot be traced back to a specific event in this life may be remnants of unresolved karmic debt. Like emotional echoes from the past, they can resurface until you deal with the underlying issues. Another one is constant anxiety. If you're wrestling with a perpetual sense of dread but can't quite put your finger on the cause, there might be more to the story. Anxiety is like your body's smoke alarm, and sometimes it can signal deeper, unresolved issues. Enter karmic debt. This underlying tension could be your soul's way of nudging you to examine unresolved matters that have carried over from past lives or earlier phases in your current lifetime. Before you dismiss this anxiety as generalized stress or neurosis, consider whether the origins might be rooted in unpaid cosmic dues that you owe. Next is conflict magnet. Ever feel like you're a walking drama magnet? If you're not, you probably know people who are. If you find yourself consistently embroiled in conflicts, consider that you might have some karmic disharmony to sort through. This is not about blaming others or even yourself. Instead, it's really about realizing that having constant discord in your life could convey deeper spiritual debts that you need to contemplate upon and then settle. A big one is perpetual victimhood. Feeling this way or believing that you're constantly at the mercy of adverse circumstances can be a troubling pattern. In Eastern spiritual philosophies, such recurrent themes of victimhood are viewed as just as random misfortunes, but as lessons from past actions that the soul needs to resolve. According to these traditions, if you often find yourself in situations where you feel persecuted or unfairly treated, it may be an indication of karmic debt. When this pattern is seen, it is a spiritual signal and it prompts an internal transformation and review. The philosophy suggests that these experiences are opportunities for personal growth and empowerment, urging an individual to move from a passive state of suffering to an active state of resilience and self empowerment. For instance, the Bhagavata 900 verse Hindu scripture discusses the importance of karma and how one's current circumstances can be influenced by past actions. This scripture teaches that facing challenging situations with a mindset of empowerment and learning can lead to spiritual progress. Through this progress can come resolution of karmic debt. Another thing is restlessness, feeling unsettled without knowing why. Sometimes a restless spirit is actually a soul eager, and I'm not talking about spirit as in a deceased person, but within oneself. It's actually a soul eager to resolve its karmic debt. If you can't shake the feeling that something is off, but you don't know what it is, this could be a sign of karmic debt. Something else to look for is inexplicable attraction or aversion. Sometimes we meet a person and the connection is instant. That can be extremely positive or negative. Either you feel an unexplainable pull toward them, or you absolutely cannot stand them. And all of this hits you quickly without any apparent reason behind it. These intense feelings of attraction or repulsion can leave you wondering, are we perhaps soulmates, or is there a deeper conflict at play? Such immediate and powerful emotional responses may be rooted in karmic connections from past lives. According to the principles of karma, our souls may have unresolved issues or unfinished business that resurface in our current lifetime. When you encounter someone from your karmic past, these unresolved dynamics can trigger strong feelings of familiarity and comfort or uneasiness and distaste. This phenomenon of unresolved dynamics suggests that our souls will pursue either continuing positive connections or resolving past conflicts. The inexplicable emotions that come up are not random either. It's clear that they are cues from our deeper consciousness, our souls. They strongly push us to address and heal our past interactions. Another one are curious synchronicities. Ever feel like you're a character in a TV show with an eerily well-written script? When coincidences start to feel like they're piling up in a way that's too specific, it is worth considering whether they're random events or synchronicities tied to your karmic debt. These so-called coincidences may be nudges from the universe, alerting you to patterns and cycles that require you to focus on them. You might even call these nudges wake-up calls for your soul, reminding it to pay off your soul's ledger. Next is impulsive behaviors. Have you ever acted out of character and wondered, why did I do that? Sometimes such impulsive behaviors can be influenced by karmic debt, causing actions that seem out of sync with who you believe you are. These impulses are your soul's way of revisiting unresolved issues from past lifetimes. According to karmic theory, our souls carry memories and unresolved conflicts through various incarnations. When triggered by specific situations or encounters in our current life, these deep-seated memories can provoke reactions designed to force us to face and resolve past issues. The purpose behind these impulses is not just to disrupt our lives, but to offer us a chance to heal old wounds. Next is emotional triggers. Do you have an emotional hair trigger set off by certain situations or people? If yes, your karmic debt could be ringing your emotional doorbell. Emotional triggers often serve as internal alarm bells, signaling unresolved issues that may have karmic roots. The disproportionate emotional reactions you're experiencing could be your subconscious urging you to address, understand, and ideally resolve this karmic imbalance. Your emotional terrain might be the battlefield where these cosmic debts get saddled. Settled. Next is persistent loneliness. You're surrounded by people, but it feels like you're on a deserted island. Does that sound familiar? Persistent loneliness could be a signal from your soul that you have a deeper issue that needs resolution. This isn't just run of the mill loneliness, it's an emotional state that endures regardless of your social circumstances. It could be an indication that your soul is craving not just company, but resolution of underlying karmic debt. Think of it as a cosmic SOS, urging you to dig deep and find what or whom you're truly missing in the grand scheme of your life journey. So, those are all the signs. Let's jump into talking about karmic debt numbers. And this is worth grab a piece of paper and something to write with. And you'll have a couple minutes before you get into using it so you can listen while you grab those. Did you think understanding karmic debt was as simple as listening to your gut or watching your life like it's some TV drama? No. The universe has a little bit of homework for you, and yes, unfortunately, it involves math. Don't worry, there's no pop quiz involved, but the numbers game that comes with karmic debt is worth understanding. So, pencils, paper out. We're diving into karmic debt numbers. These are specific numbers that hold significant meaning in numerology. They give clues about past life experiences that require your attention in the present. The common karmic debt numbers are 13, 14, 16, and 19. And if one of these numbers appears in your numerology chart, it's like the universe saying, hey, we need to talk. So here's how to calculate your karmic debt. This is the moment you've been waiting for. Actual number crunching, right? Forget about the math you've dreaded in high school. This is the fun kind. Well, as fun as math gets. First, you'll need your full birth date because according to the world of numerology, your birth date is not random. It's a numerical expression of your unique energetic imprint. In other words, you were born on a certain day for a reason, and that day holds clues about your karmic debt. So let's calculate your life path number first. To find this number, you add up each digit in your birth date until you get down to a single digit. So, seventh month, so that would be 7. And then if your birth date, your day of the month is the 15th, that would be 1 plus 5. So you'd be 7 plus 1 plus 5. Let's say you're born in the year 2001. Then it would be 7 plus 1 plus 5 plus 2 plus 1. So each individual, the month, the day, and the year. And then you're going to add all those up. So that would be 17. And in this case, then you would do 1 plus 7 to get the single digit number. It'd be 9. Your life path number is 9. You might need to listen to this a few times to get that. Check for double digits. Before you break down numbers to a single digit, watch for the special karmic debt numbers 13, 14, 16, and 19. If any of those numbers are your double digit numbers before you go to the single digit, put a pin in it because that's a straight up indicator of some karmic debt. So, knowing your karmic debt number is one thing, but acting on it is where the real growth happens. Once you know your karmic debt numbers, you can start making conscious steps towards healing any karmic debt you become aware of. This can mean doing things like being more humble, working harder, showing more kindness, and being more responsible with your freedom. Here are some examples of karmic debt numbers and what they mean. Karmic debt number 13. In the spiritual ledger, 13 often points to laziness from past incarnations. So if you've got a 13 in your chart, you'll likely face unexpected challenges that demand hard work and perseverance. You're here now to break old habits and instill a new work ethic. This is not about bad luck, it's about learning the art of resilience and discipline. Karmic debt number 14. This number typically deals with issues of freedom and independence, often from past lives in which you may have abused those concepts. If this number shows up, expect life to throw scenarios at you that test your ability to manage freedom responsibly. It's like being handed the keys to a Ferrari. You could either go full throttle into a wall or learn to handle it like a pro. Karmic debt number 16. If you have a 16 in your numerology, brace yourself. This number often signifies that you've misused your power and influence in a past life. You will likely experience disconcerting events which are intended to humble you. They will likely be painful, but will ensure you learn the importance of being humble and acting ethically. Take the setbacks in stride, they're shaping you into a better human. Karmic debt number 19. This is all about ego and pride, likely coming from past lives where you ruled the roost a bit too dictatorially. This number tells you it's time for some humble pie. You'll face situations demanding you step up as a leader without the ego. This is a lesson in balanced leadership where you're schooled to use authority and power mindfully in a way that benefits not just you, but everyone else. How to repay karmic debt. This is the moment you've been waiting for. So you've calculated your karmic debt numbers, and now you're looking at your cosmic bill thinking, fantastic. It appears I've got karmic debt. What am I supposed to do about that now? Well, don't worry. I'm going to help you start that process. I can't do it for you, but I can help you get started. Debts may be heavy and complicated, but they're also repayable. And hey, the universe isn't charging interest yet. So let's get down to settling those spiritual accounts. First, self awareness. Knowing you have karmic debt and how much of it you really have is half the battle. Calculating your karmic debt is a significant step towards self awareness, and you've done that. So, congratulations. Now, tune into the areas of your life that might be impacted by this debt. It could be any aspect of life, such as relationships, work, or health. Make a conscious effort to be more cognizant of the areas of life that have been affected by your karmic debt. Understand that this isn't pointless musing. It's vital introspection necessary for your personal and spiritual growth. Next, take responsibility. Playing the blame game isn't going to settle any cosmic bills. If you have identified a karmic debt in your life, the first step in resolving it is taking full responsibility for it. This means ditching the victim mentality and owning your past and present actions. Consider this the down payment on your karmic mortgage. Next step, positive action. Karmic debts often point to areas where we've fallen short. So naturally, the antidote is positive action. If your karmic debt revolves around misuse of power, work on empowering others. If it's about irresponsibility, strive for responsibility. It's like a cosmic do-over, but you've got the cheat sheet this time. Next step, community service. Doing community service can be seen as the spiritual equivalent of making payments on your karmic debt. By doing good deeds with no expectation of receiving anything in return, including credit for your good deed, you slowly balance your karmic books. Plus, it feels good to give back. Next, mindfulness. It may sound what some term as woo-woo, but mindfulness is a great option to consider if you have karmic debt to pay off. And this is because when you're present in the moment, it helps you make conscious choices, which aids in avoiding actions that could end up adding to your debt. Mindfulness isn't just a trend, it's like your personal karmic accountant, keeping tabs on your daily spiritual transactions. Next is apology and forgiveness. You probably heard the saying, sorry seems to be the hardest word. It's even in a song. Well, it's also a major part of karmic debt. An earnest apology can go a long way in settling past wrongs. And while you're at it, don't forget to forgive others and yourself. Next is empathy. When you gain the ability and courage to be empathetic toward people that you have hurt, you begin to see your karmic debt through their eyes. This gives you a whole new perspective, which may offer you new ideas as to how you can heal the karmic debt attached to that hurt. Next step, open communication. Sometimes all it takes to resolve an issue is an open dialogue. Whether it's a strained relationship or a feeling of guilt, talking things out can be therapeutic and help you understand what you need to do to resolve your karmic debt. And next, gratitude. Keeping a gratitude journal or simply acknowledging your blessings can help counterbalance negative karmic energy. It shifts your focus from what you lack or have done wrong to what you have and what you can offer the world. Next, patience. Repaying your karmic debt will not be a fast process. Remember that it took you lifetimes to accumulate the debt you have now. You can't expect to tackle it all quickly and probably not even all in this lifetime. There's nothing wrong with trying to, but be realistic with your expectations. So please be patient with yourself as you work to resolve your debts. Every little step you take toward eliminating it does count. Next, emotional intelligence. When you want to repay your karmic debt, understanding both your own emotions and those of others can be a major factor. Emotional intelligence allows you to navigate tricky social situations and maintain relationships, which are often the area where karmic debt plays out most. Next, financial generosity. Before I get into this subtopic, I'll caution you not to spend money you cannot afford to spend, but you may be surprised to learn that being generous financially is the quickest way to wipe out any negative energy you've spread around in the past. This doesn't have to be cash, though. It could be giving your time, donating items, giving things to people, even picking up the tab for someone. But be certain that this kind of gesture comes from the heart because the universe can spot a phony. Next, environmental consciousness. Karmic debt is not just personal, it can also be on a global level. When you make changes to reduce your carbon footprint, educate others on helping the environment, or engage in environmental activism, it can be a way to repay the karmic debt on a grander scale. And a grander scale gestures means bigger karmic debt paid off. Your physical health comes into play because surprisingly, when you take care of your body, you can also repay karmic debt. Your physical well-being is often a mirror of your spiritual health. This is why working out regularly and eating a healthy diet could be just what your soul needs. Next, spiritual practice. A consistent spiritual practice, whether it's prayer, meditation, or rituals, can help you tune into your inner guidance. This can be a great asset in understanding how to navigate and ultimately repay your karmic debt. So, what happens once you settled your karmic debt? The universe may seem mysterious and nebulous, but make no mistake, it's got its own brand of cosmic fairness. It's not just holding a tally of your good deeds and misconduct for no reason. The universe is keeping the grand ledger in balance. You have its support, but you also have its accountability. So reflect on your life, tally up those debts, and start making those universal payments. And what happens once you settled your karmic debt in this lifetime? The sweet, sweet cosmic credit score goes up. It's widely believed that repaying your karmic debt leads to spiritual growth and an elevated state of being. This enhances your current life and sets you up for a more harmonious existence in future lifetimes. It is the gift that keeps on giving across multiple incarnations. If you've enjoyed this episode, it helps me and it really helps other people find my show and help them if you like and subscribe. Tune in next Sunday. The topic is raise your frequency as high as possible. We need that to stay afloat in these crazy times. In the meantime, may your angels surround you. May your angels protect you every moment, every day of your life. I'll see you next week.